Hi there guys, welcome to this video tutorial where I'm going to show you how to create the About Us page from the ground up. So this is a brand new build, so I'm not using any demo content to show you how quickly you can build a page. So my starting point is I've installed WordPress and I've installed the Spectrum theme with no demo content. I have installed the plugins, so you can see all the different posts down here, and the plugins are installed and activated, but it's a clean install of WordPress, no demo data. If you need to learn how to do that, you need to watch the previous video tutorials, but I'm going to get right in here and show you how to create this page. So the first thing that I need to do is go to Pages, and you'll see here at the moment I am just, if I just refresh that page, we've got a blank WordPress install with nothing in the menu up here. So I'm going to create a new page, and we're going to say About Us. Oh, sorry, About Us, and then I'm going to just publish that page. Let's just get that set up there, and then I'm going to go into Appearance and Menus, and then I'm going to add the About Us page to the menu, and then if we just save that there, and then we go back to the front end, you'll see up here the About Us page comes. So if I just click onto that to show you what's happening, we get the default page with the title bar styled up within the Spectrum styling. So the next thing is go back to our pages, and we're going to edit the About Us page. So the first thing that I want to do is get this title bar at the top here. Now if you watch a previous video tutorial, I'll show you two different ways to be able to control this area, but I'm going to use Visual Composer to control this area. So if I go to Backend Editor, the first thing that I want to do is I want to add a new row, and we're going to put a text block in there because it's text that we want. So if I click on text block, so all these here are your Visual Composer elements for all the different elements that we have in the Spectrum theme, which you can have a look on the elements page. So if I click text block and the title, so I want to put About Us and then a return, and then the text that I want under here, I'm just going to copy this just for quickness, a creative team ready for your next brief. So if I paste that in there, I'll just make sure it hasn't copied anything up. So that's that. So if we now just change the text there to a heading 1, just toggle the editor, so that wants to be a heading 1, and then we can leave that there like that. All the text wants to be centered. So if we just save that now, and then if we just update the page, and I'll just refresh in the front end as well so you can see what's happening. So we've got About Us and About Us again. So we'll get rid of this top About Us here. So this is the page title. So this is the Visual Composer row, but I need to go and just edit the page title. So if I click on the page title tab, so again here, this is where you control individual page options. So we've got general, body, header, and we'll go into more detail with these over time as the theme grows on Theme Forest. So page title, so we'll just set custom setting, and we're going to say well, we'll leave that as it is, so page title is off, so we do not want to show the page title. So if I now update that, and then we go back to the front end and refresh the page, we now only get the bit that we want here. So now I need to start adding the background image and start padding this out. So if I go into the Visual Composer row and I want to edit the settings for that row, so this is the settings for the individual row. So the first thing that I want to do is go to the Style tab, and I want to change this row style to Custom so that I can add a background image to the row. So I've changed that to Custom now, and I'm going to go to Design Options. So the Design Options, I just click on the plus icon there, and I've already got my image uploaded that I want to use. So if I just set that now, so that's the background image set. And then we just want to get the text on there. So let's just save that where we're at and see where we are, so I can see the page building. So there we go. So let's get this. So we want to make the page full width as well, don't we? So let's just go here and let's do the padding first. So if we just set the padding to 160 pixels by 60 pixels. If we save that, and then we're just going to change here on the design options, we're going to set the background image to cover. If we save that, and then we'll update this, and then we'll go to the front end and refresh that page. So there, we're getting the padding in there and everything now, so we just need to set the page to full width and change this text to white. So if I now go down here, so we just need, so on the general tab, we need to check the page to full width, so that will now make the row, the background image fill the page. So there we go with that, and now we want to change this text to white. So there's a few ways we can do this. Is we can go in here and we can, am I in the right tab there? Maybe I'm in the wrong tab there. If we go in here and then we could change the text to white, so there's your text colors. So if we just highlight all that and then we just set that to white and save those settings, update this, and then if we go to the front end, just refresh that page. So there we go, we've got the text in there, we've got the text underneath. We can change the sizes after if we want to, but I'll just keep going at this demo. Now we want to create this angle here. So if you want to understand how to create angles, you need to watch the previous video tutorial. So I'm going to go straight in here and change the settings. So I click the edit icon tab and I go to the angle tab. Now you can only have the angle tab if you're using a custom row style. So we'll go to angle, we want to enable angle position, angle option 1, and we're going to say this is in the bottom right because we're editing the angle in the bottom right hand corner of the row, which is down here. So we're in bottom right, the angle height we're going to set to 100, and the colour is going to be white because the row underneath that is white, so we need it to look as though it's going to be fully white. So that is set there. We can put a border on if we want, but there's nothing on there, so let's update that. So if we refresh that page now, you'll see the angle come in there. So we're starting to build this page up. So the next row that we've got in here, we need to get a text block and some of the progress sliders in there. So all we're doing here is we're going to add another visual composer row. We're going to start it with a text block, so that's there. We need to create 2 columns, so we're going to just save that text block in there, so it's got the dummy text. So if we hover over the column icon here and we just select the 50-50, so we've got the text block there, and then we've got another column here where we can add the progress bars. So if I just click on here now, and we're going to look for the progress bar widget. So if I can just find that here, there we go, progress bar. So we just need to set this up now. So the first one, the title is marketing. We're going to show the title color. Do we want to set that to a color? So yes, we want it on that color there. Again, you choose your own colors, but the heading size, I want to choose heading size 5, and then further as we go down here, you've got different, you can add icons to this if you want to change the colors of the icon, but I want to show the value, and the value is going to be 75. So that's, we're showing the value and the value is 75. Then we get down here, the label value is percentage, which I don't think that actually matters for this because we're not showing this in the style. So then we go, so the color value, I'm just going to get these from the other demo so that I can just get these in here quickly. So you'd obviously pick your own color in there, and then we just need to choose these here. So the height of this progress bar is 33 pixels, so you can choose the different heights of how you want this to display. And then the only other thing we need to choose is layout 1. We have 4 different layouts, but it's layout 2 that I want to use, and you can play around with these and choose the different layouts. So if I save that, and if we just update this now, and then if we refresh the page, we'll start to get everything in there. So there we go. So we've got the text block, we've got this in here. So let's this is where Visual Composer comes into its own. So instead of recreating that every time, all we need to do is just copy, 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 and then we can edit these if we want to. So we could say design, and then the value we could change to 92 and save that, and get this one. We just change. I'm just putting some dummy text in here. So audio, and we change the value to 67, and then in here we'll change this to, I don't know, coffee. Just set that up there, and we'll set that to 45. Just as examples here. So if I update that now, you'll see that how quickly we get the 4 progress bars. They're going to appear on your page. So there we go with the different values, the different headings. So we need to get another heading up here. So all I'm going to do there is come here, is get to the back end of the website, and I want to add another element in here. So if I click on that, and this is going to be called a custom heading, and all we want to do here is go highly skilled, and I think the tag that we want to use is H2 left. Font size we'll set to 40 pixels. The line height we'll set to 90 pixels. Text color, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the color that we want to use. And then the font. So this is, you can choose your fonts in here for your titles if you want. So we're using Open Sans. And then the font style, I think I've got that's 300 light regular. So it shows you here the font as it's going to display. So if I save that, we'll just update that and show you how that's coming along. And then let's refresh that so you can see now we've got this column sorted. So the text in here, I'm going to just edit this text block. And then what I'm actually going to do, just to make things a little bit quicker, is I'm going to copy the text from our demo so I don't have to type it out. So if I go in here, and I'm just going to paste that in there so that I can see it. So all I've done there, all you do is select the heading style. So is it heading 1, heading 2, and then you've got your paragraph below that. So if I now save that, and if I update that, and then we refresh the page, you'll see there that we're getting the text on there that we want. We need to make that paragraph text a little bit bigger, so we can do that if we need to. And we also need to create a bit more space here. So there's a few ways we can do that, and one of the ways I'm going to quickly show you here is I'm going to add another Visual Composer element, one that's called empty space. So if we just select that, and I'm going to set that to 60 pixels, save that, and then if we update that, you'll then see this heading move down. So there we go, so that's moved down. So I'll leave that now for now, just get all these elements on the page. So the next thing we want to do is create another row, and then we want to get these what we call fancy icons on there. So the first thing that we want to do is, and this is a nice little trick for you now, is we're going to create another row. So if we just click on the row icon there, and what are we using first? I mean, we're going to use a custom heading here. So if I get all of the custom heading, where's that gone? The custom heading. And then the same thing again, we just need to put in here the title, so what we do, and then it's going to be a H2, text align center, and then the font size wants to be 57 pixels, line height, we'll just keep that at 57 pixels again, text color, we want to keep it the color we know, the font face is going to be Open Sans, and we're going to use 700 bold for that one. Where are you? 700 bold regular there. So that's that. So if we save that now, and then what we'll do is we'll build this row up now. So if we update that and go to the front end of the website again, refresh that page, There you can see we've got the title underneath in this next row, but what we'll do next is we'll put this background image in here. So if I go to the row settings, so we're going to click on the edit the row, and we're going to set the background image. So if we go design options, click the plus icon for the background row. I've got my images over here that I've already got done. So then we'll just drag the image on there, we'll set that image, and then we'll just save that for now. I'll just show you as the page builds up. So back to the front end. So there you can see we've got the image. So the next thing, I'm going to pad this out slightly so we can start to see more of the background image. So if I just go back to the row and edit the row, the design options, and we'll just set this to 80 pixels, and we'll save that. Update that now. And then if we refresh the page, we can start to see more of that image. So the next thing, I want to put this angle in here. Now because the angle that we want to use is going this way down, we've put the angle in on this row. So we're going to put the white to cover this image here. So on here, we go here onto the third, so the row where we've added the background image, click the edit icon. Now the first thing that we need to do, you'll see there's no angle tab, so we need to change the style to a custom style, and then the angle tab will appear, and then we're going to enable this angle, and we want the angle to appear in the top right because we want the angle here. So top right, we're going to set it to 100 pixels, and the color wants to be white. So then if we save that and then update the page, so there you can see we've got the angle in there. So what we need now is we need to create this space here between here. So this, what we need to do for that is to go back to the second row, and we're going to put a bit more padding at the bottom of that row. So we'll put 80 pixels here. Save that, just give that an update. Refresh that. And there you go, we've got that padding. Well, I'll space this out more evenly towards the end of this tutorial, but you can see now we've got the space that we need there. So the next thing that we need to add on here is these fancy icon boxes. So what we need to do is, because we've got a row here now, we've got one row, but we need to create 3 columns within that row. We actually need to add another row within a row, if that makes sense. So we click the add icon, and you can see up here you've got the option for a row. So if we select that, you'll see there's another row appeared within the outer row, and then here we can select the columns within the row. So if we select that now for 3, you can see we get the 3 options here that we need to add. So the first thing that we need to add is what's called a fancy icon box. So if we click on this one here, and then the title of this, I think we are going to call, what we call it, Stunning Themes. So the heading size is going to be heading 4. So you can see it's up to you how you configure these. Even though on our elements page we've only shown you 3 styles, that you can vary it as much as you can play around with it. It really does give you full control of the actual. So this is your title cover, title color. This here. So do you want your title color to hover? So if we want to choose a different color, so let's just say we're going to choose a magenta color. Let's do that as an example. So the title, we want it to be in uppercase, so you can see from that there. The content align is left. So the layout style here that I want is layout 2, and the style 1 for that hover style. And then animation, animation, do we want to animate it? So when we scroll down, we'll say left to right. So that's for this icon box. And then if we go to the icon tab here, this is now where we choose the different icons. So to do this, if you click this link here and open it up in another tab, it will open up Font Awesome Icons. Now all we need to do is just get this code. So if we wanted to use the binoculars, if I click onto that page, It's just the FA code, so all we need is that code there. So we copy that, then go back to the page and just paste that into there. That's the icon that we'll use. What size is the icon that we want to put in there, so you can control the size of it. What is the icon color? So we want that to be white, and the icon hover color, we're going to leave that as white as well. So the icon width, so this is the actual width of the icon. So I'm going to set this to 70 pixels. 70 pixels, so it's going to be a circle as such here in a minute. And then the icon background color, so I want to set that for that. And then for this color, I'm going to choose the color that is part of the default theme. So that's the icon. Do we need a border? No, we don't. Do we want to use an image for the icon? So you've got that option. Do we want the content that goes underneath the icon? Now, yes, we do need to set this, I do believe. If I can yeah. So all we need to do is paste some text in here. So that will be this text. And then the font color. So I'm going to set that to the black that we're using there. And that is it. We can put a read more button in there if we want to, and there is an extra tab for a few more extra options if you want to use them. So if I save that now, what I'm going to do is just update the page, and then I'll get rid of the font awesome because we don't need that at the moment. And then if I refresh the page, we'll see here now that we get the icon in there. So we've got a square one at the moment, but I'll change that into a circular one in a moment. So again, you've got these different options, and there you've got the hovers that we set. So you can see here this background image is a lot lighter on the demo than it is on the page we're building. So the way that you can control that is if we go to the row options again, so to the row, edit the row, and we go to the style tab, and we're going to say, right, we want to enable the parallax effect, and we're going to set it to 0.8. Now the parallax effect, if I scroll here, you can see the content above, so the actual icons, the title and the text scrolls faster than the actual background image. So if I set that to 1, I'll show you what happens here. We set the background ratio to 1, and then we want the overlay color to go on top of the image. So we're going to set that to white, and then what opacity do we want that white to be? So if we were to set that to 1, it would be a solid white, but we want an opacity of 0.7 so you can see through it slightly. So if we save that now, and then update that, and refresh the page. So now you can see we've knocked the image back with the opacity. You can see the text on top of that, and then if you see that now, we're scrolling, and the content on top of the background image moves at the same speed because it's not moving away from that guy in the background there. So if we go back into the row options here and edit that row, and then if we go to the design option, to the style tab, if we change the background ratio to 0.7 say, and then update that, if we now refresh this page, you'll see now, you can see the background image moves slower than the actual content on top. So that was the effect we were looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the rest of these icons. So a quick way to do that is to simply copy that there, paste it in there, copy, paste, get that in there, paste, and then we can duplicate that row. So that'll just go underneath there like that. Now if we wanted to change the icon, it's the same process as we've just gone through really. If we go to the icon, we can open up Font Awesome if we want to. We can choose any of these icons on here, so I'll choose the bicycle and just copy that code there. So FA bicycle, and then if we wanted to change the heading, stunning themes, we'll just say support and save that. So now if we update the page, so you can see now we've got the icons on there. We just need to start spacing things out here and put this angle in here. So that's what I'll do next. I'll put the angle in. So if we go back down to the row, and because we're working on this row, we want the white to appear over the image. So this is going to be a bottom right. So if we edit the row, and then we go to the angle tab. So we've already got the first angle enabled in the top right. So what we need to do is enable angle duplicated. So we enable that there. Which position do we want it in? The bottom right. And then we want to set that to 100 pixels. What color do we want it? So that will be white. So if we save that, and then if we update the page, and then we can see there that we've got the other angle below. So we just need to pad this out a bit now. So what I'm going to do is for the title, underneath this title here, I am going to set an empty space, and we'll set that to 70 pixels. We'll just pull that below there like so, and then we just need to pad it out below and above. So I'm going to add some padding to the actual row now. So that's set at 80 at the moment. Let's just have a quick look where we are. So I need a lot more there. I'm going to double up on that padding. So we'll put 160 in there, save that, and then I'm just going to set the these icons to be circles, just so we're matching up this page here. So I probably should have done that before I copied them all, but we'll just quickly do this here. So it's on the border, so the border radius wants to be 100%. So if I save that, in fact I'll just update this and show you the first one. There's no need to repeat for the video tutorial. You guys will be able to do that when you're building your pages. So there we go, we've got a circular one. You can make oval ones, so you can control those settings there. So you can see how quickly I'm starting to knock this page up. We need some more space in between here. So what we can do is actually add some padding on the top of this row. So I'm editing the row within the row, and we go to design options, and we'll set that to 40 pixels at the top of there. So if we update that now, and then refresh that page again, you can see now we've got some padding between the actual icon rows as well. So that's that row set up. Let's get to the next one. So this is a team section. So the first thing that I need to do now is create some team profiles, because if I actually click through on that guy, you get your actual team profile. So the way to do this is, first of all, we need to go to the team post type. So if we go on to team, and we need to create some new profiles. So I'm going to actually quickly do this. So this is team member 1, and we'll just get some dummy text, which I'll just actually take from here. Just make this a little bit quicker. So there's the dummy text, and then, oh yeah, sorry, what I'll do is I'll just set the image here. So I've got 4 images for the 4 team members. I'll just drag them on there. So if we just set that guy first. One thing that I've forgotten to do here is you've got team categories, and I haven't set that. So what I need to do first is publish that team post type, and then go to team categories, and we just need to set up a new one. I'll just call it members. I mean, you could have it as directors, employees, just so you can separate your team members out for the different areas of your company. So now if we just refresh that page, it will actually have team members. Yeah, so there are the members profile. So we go back to team, and then if we edit team member 1, and we'll just assign him to that category. So we've just got some dummy content on there, and if I publish that, so then I just need to repeat that process for the other team members. So I'll jump the video at this point, so I'll show you where I'm up to in a second. So there we go, I've added 4 team members now, so we've got that content there in place. So we now need to go back and start editing our page so we can put the visual composer element on there. So we'll go back to pages, and we're going to edit the About Us page. And then the next thing we need to do, as the page loads, is we need to add another row in here now. And we're going to put a text block in there. And we'll just save that for now. Now, because if we look at this, so if we look at this page here, if we go back to the demo page, so we've got a title up here and we've got the text underneath it, same as we have on our new page. So we've got the same here, so there's no need to keep creating all the same things twice. All we need to do is duplicate the one that we want the style from, and then just drag it down to the row that we're working on, and then I'm going to delete the default text block that it's put in there. So then all I need to do here now is just change the text, our team. Oops. Sorry, I deleted there by mistake, so I'll just set that now. So our team, and then if I just copy that text, and then all that text is centered. So if I just save that now, so we're getting that in there. So if I now update that page, and refresh, so now you can see we're getting the our team section, the our team row in there. So the first thing that I want to do is get the Visual Composer widget now. So if I go down here, so underneath the team, we need to add another Visual Composer element, and this is the team carousel. So if I now look at the options here, so the heading size, heading 1, so text align is center. So again, you've got all these options to configure here. So I just put this color in here, and I think that's all we need on that tab. So the source option, so you'll see here now the source option is members here, so that's the categories. If you've got more departments that you set up, you would have them here, but I've only done the 4 default ones for this demo. So the layout tab, so this is where you choose how we want to lay this out. So default, we want 1 row. The width of the item, now you just need to work this out based on the width of how far you want these apart. So it's just a case of getting your design together and looking at how wide we want them, what space we want between them. So I want 40 between there. The minimum amount of items would be 1, the maximum is 4 because it's only 4 columns. And then I think we've got auto scroll no, show navigation yes, and we want that navigation to be a vertical center, which is this option. And then we've already got predefined font awesome icons in there for you. So I think that's all we need on there. And then the item option, let me just check if we need to have anything on here. So content align is center because we've got everything centered. The content padding, that's already set for you there. Overlay background, that's okay. Show image, crop image. Show team title, yes. Team title colors. Yeah, I think we're okay there for that point now. So if I just social options, so show your socials, yeah, if we want to put them on there. I'll show you how that works in a moment as well. So let's just save that now, and then if we update the page and then refresh, you can see now we're getting our team carousel on there. A few styling issues that I need to tidy up there based on how we want that page to look, but we could go back to that later if we wanted to. And the actual description text here, well, we don't actually need that, so I will edit that now. So let's go down here again, so team. So I think this might be under, let me just general, let's just check here. So source option, it's not under there, layout, that's your layout of it. So it's going to be on item option, isn't it? So team info, show description. So if we say no to that, save that, update that. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong window. So if we refresh the page, so you can see now we've got rid of the description underneath. So I'll leave that for now. You can see how quickly I'm knocking this page up. You could change those options to get this styled up like this. So the next row that we want to add is what is called a production process or a timeline. So we need to get another row in here, and we're going to choose the, I think it is called the production process actually, it's called process. So the visual composer element that we need for this is called process. And then, so the icon, so this is basically icon 1, title 1, description 1, icon 2, so it's pretty self-explanatory, title, icon, description. So I'm going to select the description there for number 1, the title, year 1998 if that's what we wanted it to, and then the icons work exactly the same as we did before with the Font Awesome icons. So if we go to Font Awesome, and let's just say we wanted to use, oh, let me get to the correct page first. So here we are on the Font Awesome cheat sheet. So if I want to use, let's say use a cloud, all I'd do is copy that text and then we just paste that into the icon there. So I'm just going to use a different one here for icon 2. So then we'll go year 1999, description. So I'm going to just copy that description in 4 times. Then we'll get the year. So I'm just going to use different years here. So we'll do that, and then the icon, I'll just keep the cog for this demo, show you how quickly. And then down here, if we keep going down to the bottom, you've got the different options for the colours and the sizes of the icons. So icon font size, we're going to go 38 pixels. Icon colour, we're going to go for white. Icon background, so we need to choose the background colour here. So I'm going to go for let's go for that colour there. And then the icon width, I've used the same as what I used on the other icons above this, so 70 pixels, 70 pixels. And then we've got just a few more options here which we can choose from. So the icon border radius, so again if we wanted square icons or circular icons, so I'm going to choose that as 100%. The title size I'm going to set to heading 4. Title colour I'm going to set to, I'm going to set to the black that I'm using, and then we've got the process column none. So let me just check that. So if we save that now, and then let's have a look at this. So you can see there we've got the horizontal team process, we've got the cloud icon that we used, and we need to set this border and we need to set the background image and put the title in there. So again, let's go back down to the raw. We're going to edit this instead, and this time we're going to add a background color. So we just click on the design options, background color. That's the color that I know I want to use. I'm going to pad this out a bit so that the spacing is correct. So save that. What else do we need? We need another title in there, so I could just duplicate this title, move it down, and then if we edit that, and we'll just call it production process. Well, we'll call it timeline, just to show you. And then if we save that there, and then if we just update that now, let's see where the page is up to. So if we go down here, so we can see we've got the timeline. Probably need a bit more padding there, so we're going to pad that out a little bit more at the bottom. Add another 40 pixels onto that, I think, so that's 120. We actually need a small gap between here, so I'm just going to add an empty space. Where's it gone? Empty space, and we'll just set that to 20 pixels, and we'll move that between the title. And the last thing that we need to add to this page, we need to add the border here. So what we can do in here, I think this is where I did it on the actual demo, in design options, so we've got the border option here, so I'm going to set that to 6 pixels, and then we select a border color, so I'm going to set that to the color that I know, and then what type of line is it, so it's a solid line, So if we save that, then let's update this. And then if we scroll down now, you can see we've got the border on there as well. We've got the timeline, which is showing there. And then the last thing that we need is what we call a point of sale down here. So if I go back to Visual Composer, and then we add another row, and then what we need here is what's called point of sale, it's a call to action. This is what that is called. So I just need to find that. So a call to action is here. So a call to action button. So if I select that in there, so we've got, so again, we can add an icon if we wanted to as part of this, but it isn't on there. So icon size, icon color. So the text, what text do we want on here? So it's release the power of Spectrum. Text so the font size for this, so I'm going to set that to 26 pixels. The color, I want it to be white. Text on the button, so what do we want on the button? So it wants to be buy now. And what do we want it to link out to? Well, I'm just going to put the hash icon there to make sure the button shows. Do we want it to open in a new window or the same window, whichever? What button style do we want? I know that's the default button. And then the button size, regular, button align, right or left, so it's obviously over on the right here. So that's for that. And then what we need to do is we need to set the color of the background here. So edit the row, go to the design options, we're going to set the background color to the black, and we're going to set the padding to 40 pixels to pad that out slightly. So if we update that now and then preview that, so you can see there now how quickly we've knocked that page together. I mean, it's not as exact as that because we do spend a bit more time putting the design up together and making it perfect for you guys. So that page is in the demo content, but within half an hour I've knocked up a page which would be worthy of any website and ready to use. So you can edit the font sizes, we can change the icons, we can tweak around with that page now until it's totally ready and ready for us to use on your next WordPress theme. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our team at CMS Superheroes and we'll be more than happy to help. So thank you for watching.